Hi everyone, today's talk is titled Different Consciousness, Same Bullshit. What I mean by that is that although humanity and technology can advance from decade to decade, century to century, millennia to millennia, the problems we have, the crosses we all have to carry and bear, seem to remain the same. What I mean by this is that cavemen, they had the woolly mammoth trampling on them, the saber-toothed tiger, they had dysentery, malnutrition, and starvation as their biggest enemies, the biggest challenges they faced. And when you look at indigenous tribal societies as well, the statistics show that murder and revenge and killing as a ratio to their populations were so much higher than in our safe society nowadays. And then, you know, throughout the Middle Ages, people had feudal lords, they had forced conscription to armies, they had to go and fight and get themselves shot or stabbed by a sword on some battlefield somewhere, and this kind of went on until well, basically nowadays we still have these ridiculous wars. But what I mean by different consciousness, same bullshit, is that within this 3D physical realm, this reality that we are forced to inhabit, I mean, we're not forced, we could commit suicide and it's finished, this one. But within this reality, I don't think utopia or complete peace is possible. You can neutralize your highs and lows of your emotion through meditation, but if you want to live a rock star life, if you want to have the highs and lows, you have to be prepared to deal with it. And what I mean is, on a physical level, day to day, I don't have tigers or predators chasing me, but the predators nowadays are the government and the police and the advertising and the mainstream media. These are the predators that come and try and steal not the physical now, but the psychological. They try and steal a piece of you and try and reprogram you in a way. The same way that a Roman slave runner would whip a slave. Now we put the slave in front of the TV and the TV whips the slave through the mind. So how do we become free in an unfree world? I think really is, first point is you have to understand that there really is very little separation, if any separation at all, between yourself, your consciousness, your perception of all that is, and all that is. Your perception of all that is all that is. When people joke and say, oh my God, you think you're the center of the universe, well, you are. But so's everyone else, and there's the dilemma. There's the mystery that quantum physics or religion has not been able to figure out. I'm not a firm believer in democracy, and I know that might sound strange as I support the Occupy movements around the world, and they're all working on real democracy amongst the people, but I equate democracy nowadays in this mass society of millions of people in each nation. I mean, Britain's 70 million. Within a tribe this large, with no coherent, you know, emotion holding it together, democracy is really a piece of shit. We don't have democracy, we have the manufacturing of consent amongst the great uneducated public by very smart politicians and the media arm, the military arm, the political arm, and the business arm that they use to entangle the public. So I also agree with many people, social commentators, that say that whoever you vote for, the government always gets in. And so I don't vote. I mean, voting for a Conservative Party or a Labour Party or a Liberal Democrat Party for me is I might as well slice off my own balls, castrate myself, and hand them to the closest man on the plate. But on a more serious note, this state that we are in, the government state, it demands so much of us from such an early age that for me, the only way to remain sane and remain proud of yourself in this is to have a total rejection of everything that the state wants from you. Be that public education, be it paying tax, be it filling in your census form, be it obeying the law. And I break the law every day, and very proudly I break the law. I smoke marijuana, I break the speed limit when I drive, I'm sure there's millions. Oh yeah, I download and pirate films, music. What else do I do that's illegal? I'll save that for more private conversations, because last time I admitted to something surrounding the royal wedding, I was pre-crime arrested. Anyway, that brings me on nicely to the subject of the police. The police are an inevitable symptom of the state we live in. When you're trying to create this mass society and this mass consumerist society, you will have dysfunctional people who will go mad, become violent, become rapey, become stabby. And there is an argument for the existence of a group of people who have the monopoly of force. That is, if you're going to have a state. My alternative is the complete annihilation of the state, and therefore that would negate the necessity of police. But within the current establishment, I see police at protests. I see them all the time on the streets. In fact, today we're here in Harpenden, just outside Harpenden. That's some nice country manners back there. But this is a small, sleepy town, about 40 miles from London, population of maybe 5,000. And today I saw about 6 different police vans and about 10 different police officers chasing someone. They're all looking around, they're looking in public toilets for someone. And then they all high-fived each other when it came over the radio that this guy was caught. I don't know, maybe he dropped his cigarette butt on the floor, maybe he didn't hold the door open for someone, or maybe he was smoking a cannabis cigarette, who knows. But the police, funny bunch, funny uniforms, and one thing I find difficulty doing, I think maybe because I think too deeply about these things, is hating all the police because of the actions of a few. That would be kind of like hating all human beings because some of them are rapists. Some policemen are fucking pricks, they are assholes, they are homunculus Neanderthalic twats who have no ability to actually feel love or compassion for their fellow man, and they put on a uniform to turn into a little Gestapo Nazi scumbag, and then they go out there and hurt people. And I see this all the time. But I know many people like this who do not wear a police uniform, so the argument that all police are cunts doesn't quite stand. But really though, when you do put on your police uniform, you are the upholder of this system, which I am against. And there is an inherent contradiction. As I say, I'm against this system as I film with my nice corporately created camera, as I wear corporate clothes, as I have my corporate phone. But really, I realize that this is all absurd anyway. Even me talking to the camera now is absurd, and really the only thing which really matters is whether you are your own man or woman, whether you're thinking independently of society or others, and whether you're happy doing that. And if I can end this with a positive message, is that for 2.5 years now, I've done what I've wanted to do. Many people ask me, oh, what do you want to do when you're older? What do you want to do in a year's time, 2 years' time? And I say, well, exactly what I'm doing now. I'm happy. I'm free. I do what I want to do. I answer to no one. And although it comes with its occasional trials, such as the occasional arrests, and you know, there's no structure to my life, but I like that. In fact, I want to raise one final point as well, and that is of the demons inside a lot of people out there. And to kind of name names, I want to name the EDL, the English Defence League, that turned up in London a couple of days ago. And there's about 170 of them arrested because they were going to go to the Occupy London Stock Exchange group. And they're such idiots. They put it all over their Facebook that they were going to beat up hippies, that they were going to burn down tents. And of course, when you write very clear threats of violence on Facebook, the police will come and arrest you. So, hurrah for them as being a bunch of fucking idiots. What I like about the countryside is that there's people having real fun. There's a guy going past on the quad bike in the countryside here. But the demons inside people, I get this all day, all night, in emails and comments, that there is this foaming at the mouth, a group of angry people that they will literally lash out at anyone that they disagree with. And rather than switch it off or watch something else, they religiously comment on every video. And it's interesting, I'm fascinated by people who hate me because there's some weird metaphysical quantum fuck-up happening there. But really, I think anyone that tries to do anything fun or independent will have a bunch of mediocre minds chasing you and harassing you and bothering you and laughing at you. And let them, man. Like, it's so funny, there's I guess 2 types of people in this world: the people that do stuff, and then the people that criticize those people that do stuff. So okay, I was going to end this on a positive message. Really, Every single one of us is God. You are the center of the universe. Your perception is tangled in some strange, mysterious relationship with the totality. I don't think it's as simple as our perception creates reality, because that doesn't quite account for all those African children in Rwanda that were macheted. I don't think those Rwandan children perceived the need to have a machete slice their head in half. So I think the universe has a sense of humor. I think it's cruel to be kind, and everything that's bad is ultimately good. And when you look back in hindsight at all the bad things that have happened to you, they have really strengthened your character and made you who you are today. So don't worry about it. Smoke a fat joint. And one more thing as well. Don't drink alcohol in such vast quantities. One thing I fucking hate at the Occupy London movement is I'm having a conversation with someone and I notice their speech is a bit erratic, their thought patterns are a bit, you know, incongruous to the conversation. And then suddenly I smell the stench of alcohol in their breath. And I know it might sound a bit hypocritical of a stoner here telling people to not get drunk, but just look at the advertising around alcohol. Look at how bars and clubs are filled to the brim on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of all the droning corporate office workers having to get the fuck out of their minds on the government-sanctioned, government-taxed, boring drug that is alcohol. But saying that, in the dating world, you know, it's quite a romantic drug, a bit of alcohol, you know. They say that conversations and romance, like certain body parts, work better when lubricated. Anyway, this is what happens when you come out with a camera into the countryside and you don't actually have a point. But maybe there's a metaphysical lesson right there. There is no point to life. Life is what you make of it, and this video is what you make of it. So, yeah. See you on the front line.